I seen this video on my feed, and it got me curious. Why anime dialogue sucks by Zako Anime. Now, before I start this video, I just want to say this could go very good or this could go very bad. I really hope you don't sit me here, listen to you chat for 11 minutes. Please have some good points and why you've came out with such a outrageous title. Now cook something up in the kitchen for me, brother.
Japan is very different to the West. When watching anime, the cultural differences may not be something you think about, but I think Japan's collectivist society affects the media it produces. So what is a collectivist society? Basically, it's a society which cares more about the group than the individual. We can see this in many things like overwork culture, where workers are expected to work unpaid overtime, or just the politeness that's expected in Japan, or trains showing up on time. But I think this culture and mindset leads to people not really saying how they feel or not communicating in any meaningful way. I think you can see the extreme effects of this with hikikomoris and the declining birth rate. The way Japanese people interact and the culture behind it is undeniably different than ours. So it only makes sense that it would affect the way characters interact in Japanese media. This is just what I think though, so take it with a grain of salt. I'll get back to that, but now, I hate anime dialogue. There's really good anime dialogue and there's really bad anime dialogue. I'm gonna try and compare them and explain where I'm coming from. First, let's look at good dialogue. Good dialogue should be like a game of tennis, with retorts bouncing back and forth and waiting the right amount of time to strike back. That means either waiting for the ball or jumping across the net and hitting it right away. A conversation shouldn't be linear, it should flow naturally from point to point. And it should serve a purpose, whether that.
Okay, but like I see the point you're trying to make. But every conversation doesn't flow like this. So like if every anime in existence had conversations that flow like this, it would be very unrealistic. Like most anime isn't unrealistic, but like most anime is unrealistic, but like it wouldn't feel natural. It's more natural when things are realistic, especially when it comes down to something like dialogue.
That's making you laugh or informing you of what's happening, or making the growth of a relationship or characters believable. It should use characters' personalities and be believable that a character is saying it. It should also be efficient. Something that recent comedy films keep doing is over-talking. This is a ridiculously lazy, unfunny, and cringe joke, where they repeat things and just keep talking and think it's funny. Anyway, a good example of dialogue is...
But if it comes up tails, you forget about the fight and you both come with me. Are we clear on this?
Give me that.
This scene in Samurai Champloo has really good dialogue. It doesn't waste your time and it's entertaining. You can...
Like... Okay. You lost me, bro. You're gonna talk about dialogue, right? We're watching a 20-minute episode of anime. If that's good dialogue, there's gonna be no conversation the whole anime. We're gonna listen to 2 minutes of talking, nigga. Like, they said 2 words each. She said a sentence, he said, give me that. That's good dialogue? Like, if there's nothing happening on the screen, I want to hear somebody talking. Like, what are we talking about? Oh, brother.
You can learn so much from these characters just from this short amount of dialogue.
Are we clear on this?
From this, you immediately learn that this girl is strong-willed, demanding, maybe a bit selfish. Then Mugen crudely saying,
"Give me that,"
shows he's more wild and vulgar. And this is consistent throughout the scene with lines like,
"Kiss my ass."
The amount of lines each character gets also serves to show their character. The girl with the most lines.
See, and this is the point you could have used. This is what you could have used to prove your point. Instead of pulling up that scene and saying this reinforces my point. No, this is what you should have said from the beginning. You should have said, this anime has good dialogue because of these points, not because of that weak ass scene.
Lines is clearly the most upbeat and talkative, while the guys stay more silent, showing how they're more serious or have seen more hardship. This scene clearly shows characteristics
No,
and moves.
Stop putting up one scene. Say this anime, because that scene did not do anything. This anime, not this scene, buddy. Come on, you can redeem yourself. You got some time.
The plot forward. The dialogue is efficient and feels bouncy.
You did not just say this scene moves the plot forward. Like, do you understand? Not every scene in an anime has to move the plot forward.
Comebacks coming at the right time. You can clearly feel their unique personalities and how they bounce off of each other. Now let's take a look at bad dialogue in anime. A staple of bad dialogue in anime is nani? And lots of, it can't be, blah, 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 blah. This is bad because it doesn't give any real insight into what the characters are thinking or who they really are. When dialogue should be an opportunity for characters to express themselves and their personalities. And
first of all, we don't care what a background character. If our main character is talking to a side character, I don't care what that nigga's thinking. So if he says Nani, and it saves me 20 seconds from him giving an inner dialogue, then I very much will appreciate that, because I don't care about that nigga.
Bond with other characters and grow a believable relationship. But we learn absolutely nothing from this kind of dialogue that's so prevalent in anime. And here's where this links with Japanese culture. Japanese people will often talk like that, where the reaction to something is just, really? Sugoi desu ne? That is how people talk, but to anyone outside of Japan that may seem extremely forced and repetitive. It's boring and doesn't do much to show someone's personality, and that's because Japanese society doesn't want you to have a personality. And it just makes conversations not flow very well in anime. And this gets worse the more anime you watch, seeing the same default responses in anime over and over. Completely characterless conversations. But this feels more like a problem with anime in general rather than just dialogue. The characters, art style, the plot are all recycled and become emptier and emptier with each new recycled anime. So is this bad dialogue just because of the differences in culture? No, I don't think so. Because movie dialogue should—
I swear to God, if you pop up on my screen and do this shit one more time, buddy, come on. Keep your hands down. You don't gotta do the same how you gonna talk about repetition and then every time you pop up on my screen you're doing the same exact damn thing? You're pissing me off.
It wouldn't be exactly like real life, and it's not like Japanese people are robots.
Oh my God. I get your face isn't on the screen. I get you got your face covering it, so you gotta show some body movement. But if you hit me with the same default ass fucking move one more time, buddy.
Robots. Part of why anime is so popular in Japan is the escapism it gives them. Most of the popular anime characters are outspoken and give interesting dialogue and have personalities. And that's maybe because they can't be outspoken in daily life. So why is there this bad dialogue? Because
what? Like, did you not just contradict yourself? Or did I just miss something, bro?
Japan is the escapism it gives them. Most of the popular anime characters are outspoken and give interesting dialogue and have personalities. And that's maybe because they can't be outspoken in daily life. So why is there this bad dialogue? The cause could be that a lot of anime have completely soulless and rushed productions. Just look at the plain direction of isekai anime with the reused designs and environments and ideas. People mainly point out isekai for this issue, but it's affected all of anime. The second most of which I think is romance anime, where character interaction is arguably the most important in making relationships believable. With the Samurai Champloo scene, the dialogue would make you believe that these characters want to be with each other / not want to be with each other. But so many friendships and relationships in anime feel forced and unnatural because of this bad dialogue. This scene is the perfect example.
デリケートな問題だから言いたくないか見て綺麗
ほんとだ空の色絶妙
梅干し色時色じゃないですか
もう少し空が見えるところに行こう。
そうね。
Everyone in this scene reacts to things in the same way. The dialogue tells you nothing about the characters. Good dialogue.
So, like, I'm gonna just play devil's advocate here. Because this is where you're killing me. Nigga, they're a group of friends. They can't have the same reaction about something? How do you know that, like, I don't know what anime that was, but, like, that could have been all of their same hobby. That could have been something that they were all interested in. Like, that's just a bad point, bro. Like, you didn't really give me a conversation and tell me it was bad. You didn't give me dialogue and say it was bad. You said this dialogue is bad because they all agreed about the same thing. Like, that, you don't see how that's a horrible point?
Should move the plot forward naturally, but here the sudden inclusion of the girl saying the sky is pretty is really unnatural and
Okay, let me tell you what I got from that, because I either I'm missing something, or like, because I never seen this show, so I have no idea what this conversation was about. But it just looked like this was an awkward situation, and the girl brought up the sky to change the subject. That's what it looks like. So if it like, and if that's the case, if I'm right about that, that shows exactly personality right there. That shows her personality. It shows everybody else's personality because they didn't say anything. They just let it continue to be awkward. So if I'm right on that, which I don't know if I am, I'm just throwing out something. Who knows? That could have been just a random conversation. He could be completely right. But from the context that you showed us, that's exactly what it looks like.
and is purely there to force the plot forward, in an unnatural way of showing the main girl can't see colour and how that makes her sad and unique. And from this interaction, I wouldn't believe that they were friends or wanted to be around each other. Because they're not bouncing off of each other, it's not a natural progression. It gives no reason for these people to like each other, when dialogue should be used to convince you that characters enjoy.
This is what I can't stand videos like this. Instead of half of the video you yapping about nothing, the whole video should be of you giving examples so you can make your point. Because when you give one example with no context, you showed us a 10-second clip of them talking. There's no context around that. We have no idea what the situation is. We have no idea. So there could have been plenty of context there that would have made that dialogue make sense. But no, you show us a little quick cutout 10 seconds and you try to use that to prove your whole point. If people don't know this anime, like, you're just making, like, no one is picking up that point. Now, if people know that and they're like, oh, yeah, this is a great point because blah, 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 because they've seen the anime, like, but other than that, like, you're just losing everyone else.
Being with each other. Good dialogue also leaves room for interpretation. Emotions shouldn't be declared. There should be nuance in the words characters say. Generally, anime struggles with subtlety, but I think a good example is this scene.
If you think getting hit on the head and not waking up excuses you from your duties, you got another thing coming. Abandoning your post for 3 days is unacceptable. I'm talking fines here, fines!
It's simple but gets my point across. Haruhi being mad or whatever, but the nuance is her and Kyun's relationship and how she is worried about him. I really like the body language.
See, now, like, I didn't pick that up. It just looked like somebody that was angry because I have no context. He just looked like, oh, he looked like, oh, here she is yelling at me again, and she just looked like she's yelling. Like, she just looks angry because there's no context. I never seen this before. I have no context of the situation. But here you about to go break down the scene because you have context. Like, you see why this is like, what you're doing here doesn't fucking work?
In this scene, with Haruhi leaning over the bed and being excited. Anime often doesn't utilize body language, but when it's combined with dialogue, it can show great nuance and make you feel things. Something else I'd like to add is that anime dialogue can just be unnatural because it's not real life. And it being animated makes it more believable than if it were live action, so for me, more over-the-top or cringy dialogue isn't as bad as it would be if it were in live action. Something I've noticed is that a lot of dialogue in anime feels kind of stilted and set in stone, with characters often waiting their turn to say something. This may link with Japanese culture as well, with politeness just being the norm. But for me, it just feels weird seeing anime conversations be so cordial, even when they're joking around or supposed to be having fun. That's why I love the dialogue of something like Gintama. It's fast and characters respond fast and talk over each other. Whereas it seems like other animes really take their time when making their characters respond. This could be for production reasons like stretching out the show or just not having enough time or money to make it better. And this would make sense as I usually see it in the more generic and cheap looking anime. I think a reason that some people
See, you know what would have made your point fantastic here? You know what would have made your point fantastic here? If you would have had some manga, right? And then show how much dialogue is on the screen and show like how much they're talking in these couple of like little movements that they're actually doing. And then showing an anime where they are way slower with their responses than what it looked like on the manga. That would have made sense. Like that would have been a point that you could have used. But like just saying all this bra stuff like, oh, all these animes and blah blah blah, and you're just like assuming people are gonna agree with that.
people are still hesitant to watch anime is dialogue. While there are a lot of anime with
Hell
good
no. Nobody is hesitant to watch anime because of the dialogue, nigga. Are you insane? I have never heard that once in my entire life. I have never told one of my friends to pick up anime and they say, nah, bro, the dialogue's weird. I'm good.
good dialogue. There are easily as many shows that have awful dialogue and are still popular for whatever reason. Classroom of the Elite is literally one of the worst anime I've ever seen. Episodes where nothing happens, full cast of characters that are nothing more than tropes. Dragged out and pointless conversations to try and make characters seem smarter than they actually are. Generic designs, generic characters, generic everything, and of course, bad dialogue. Bad dialogue and bad characters are connected because dialogue makes up a big part of a character. What is a character to you other than the interactions and actions you see them take?
You see, this is where you piss me off. You stop accusing shit of things and then not having a point. That's the worst thing you can do, bro. Like, you can't call something bad and say, it's bad because of this, it's bad because of this, it's bad because of this. Where is your examples? Where is your points? You're just saying shit is garbage with no fucking evidence. You're just chatting right now.
That's why anime with good characters have good dialogue and soulless shows with no characters have bad dialogue. Because there's
So
nothing
there's no good characters in Classroom of the Elite. That's what you're saying.
there other than forcing the
slap the
generic
fuck outta
plot
you,
forward
man.
and pushing the illusion of relationship growth. So I can easily see how bad dialogue could put someone off from watching anime. I think a lot of people don't realise the importance of dialogue. I would argue that it's the most important thing to an anime. How do you connect to a story? Through its characters. How do you connect to characters? Through the way they interact with the world and other characters. And what's a large part of that? Dialogue. For me, if dialogue is bad, it's hard to ignore. For a mixture of reasons, I don't think dialogue is seen as important for anime producers / artists. Whereas dialogue is a big focus for Western artists. This could be because of collectivism or rush schedules or just a difference in what cultures enjoy, but I don't think it's impossible to create a good show without good dialogue. Shows like Real Life have awful dialogue, but the themes and story still shine through and hit me and resonated with me.
Okay.
I think that's
I'm literally gonna go back on what you said. You said shows with good dialogue have good characters, right? So basically, you're saying since Real Life doesn't have good dialogue, it doesn't have good characters. The characters is the only thing about the show. Like, that's the main point about the show. And you just said because it has a good story. Nigga, there's barely any story, bro. There's one main plot line. You're literally watching it for the characters and the development.
just a testament to the skills of Japanese artists, who with different tools and skills
You're chatting.
can manage to move me without good dialogue. It is a
You're
shame
chatting. You're chatting. You're chatting.
though, because if shows like that had good dialogue, they would be literally perfect. I feel like dialogue is the essential.
Bro, like you don't wanna know how I know you're stupid. You're talking about Real Life having a bad dialogue. I haven't seen this
dialogue, they
show
would be
in a
liter-
second, but the main girl, she's literally introverted. She has no conversation. She struggles to talk to people. She's not supposed to be able to have good dialogue. That's the whole point of her character. So like you saying that, you're missing the whole point of a character here. She's literally talking half of the show, her and the main character. Like how are you missing that? You don't see the development as the show goes on?
Purely perfect. I feel like dialogue is the essential thing, but in anime it's always just a bonus, and shouldn't be expected. While bad dialogue can feel unnatural and make an anime bad, there are still plenty of anime that manage to be good with not amazing dialogue. I just wish shows with good dialogue were more common. It sucks growing up with anime and slowly wanting to watch fewer shows and not being able to get into pure shit. In a medium where bad dialogue seems to be accepted, shows with good dialogue will always stand out to me.
Hey, bro. Next time you drop, I'm gonna need you to stop chatting. And you better keep that box on your face. Because next time, if I see your face, I'm slapping you. Because this shit was garbage. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. It was garbage. You missed me. You missed me with this one. I don't know how other niggas feel. I personally don't care. But you missed me.